was adapted for a 2009 film. Carson's income sources also include a salary from his partnership at Johns Hopkins. Coming in at number 7 on the list is the one, the only, yes, give it up for Mr. Mark Huckabee. And then after you do that, give it up for Mike Huckabee.
Yes.
Yeah. I can read. Well, Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, is running for a second presidential campaign after losing very poorly in the 2008 Republican presidential primary to, another guy who's known for his hands, John McCain. Leading up to that first election, the New York Times reported that Huckabee's assets were valued at less than $700,000. It appears that Huckabee was able to capitalize on the fame he earned during a previous race. The former governor enjoyed lucrative speaking appearances, published several books, and began hosting his own radio show. Yeah, big deal, and I got more assets than you. Shut up. Now, the 2016 presidential hopeful and his wife recently moved into an estimated $3 million home in the Blue Mountain Ranch, Florida. Well, kiss that sucker goodbye with the storm, buddy. And, of course, his net worth has been estimated as high as $23 million by some drunk folks in the bar.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's too bad. I really got to say,
yes.
It's too bad that I've made no bones about and just kept stating openly and publicly for the last 5 and a bit years of my life here that I'm a Canadian. Because I'm right set to pull an Obama and run myself. Yeah. And considering I've got net worth of more than almost half these guys, I can. Well, coming in at number 8 is the incredible brainiac Ted Cruz. I mean that, Gilbert. You should see some of his space programs.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Ted Cruz is the son of a Cuban immigrant who became an oil businessman. He's built his campaign around the promise of the American dream. Cruz is now an Ivy League educated lawyer and a Tea Party-backed Texas senator, as well as a GOP presidential candidate. Cruz is a divisive candidate, notable for his role in the 2013 federal government shutdown. He is skeptical that global warming even poses a threat. Yeah, okay. Remember all that stuff I just said at the top of the paragraph about him being smart?
Yes.
Yeah. Just forget it. In fact, I'm not even going to read the rest of this crap about him. He just sucks so hard. But he's number 8 at a net worth of $1.7 million to $4.5 million, give or take a couple of million. Yeah. Coming in at number 9 is, of course, the one, the only Rand Paul. His net worth is $683,036 to $2 million. Wow! Why would you put in $683,036? Are you counting the shit in your pocket? Really? Well, Rand Paul, a Kentucky senator and ophthalmologist, is widely regarded as the most libertarian-minded presidential candidate. He, like his father, Ron Paul, has long advocated for states' right to operate without federal influence. Unlike most of his fellow GOP candidates, the bulk of Rand Paul's campaign contributions come from small individual donations, which totaled more than $3.4 million as of June. While Paul is wealthier than most members of Congress, he is by no means the wealthiest. Paul's average net worth of $1.3 million pales in comparison to that of his fellow Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, for example, who has an estimated average net worth of over $30 million. And finally, number 10 is Bernie Sanders. Yes, his net worth, $110,014. Yes, Bernie has an average estimated net worth of $330,507, well below other prospective presidential nominees and among the lowest compared to other members of Congress. The Vermont senator, who is the longest-serving independent in U.S. history, is a self-identified socialist. He is seeking the Democratic nomination. However, and is the most popular Democratic candidate after Hillary Clinton. In keeping with Sanders' stated intention of starting a grassroots movement, more than 90% of his campaign contributions have come from individual donors. Sanders' campaign speeches have drawn record numbers of attendance. Most recently, 19,000 people watched two black girls kick him off a stage. And then there's like 11, 12, 27.
Yes.
You know, we're not going there. But because, of course, Coffee and Cigarettes is on HTLA Radio 1.
Yes.
Yes, New York's best talk, and, well, we are number one.
Yes.
With this whole political thing, let's talk about number one. Well, no, I mean, Oh, that's good. No, we should just talk about the Trump. And I do have to state this as well. Now,
yes.
In fairness, he canceled on, what was it, Monday?
Yes.
Right? He canceled, couldn't make the thing work. They had something, who the hell knows?
Yes.
Yesterday, of course, thanks to Gilbert, I was drunk and vomiting in the street. And, so the fine professionals here at HTLA Radio 1, of course, just called Mr. Trump and said that there's been a shooting. It's probably not safe for you to be here.
Yes.
So. Well, Donald Trump says he's not a bully. That's right. And psychologists happen to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Donald Trump says he's not a bully, and clinically, he is exactly right. Today, Trump was again defending himself following the latest in a series of spats with network television personalities, this time with Univision anchor Georgie Ramos, who Trump's security detail booted from a news conference the previous night in Iowa. "I'm not a bully," a real estate magnate and Republican presidential candidate said on the Today Show today. Americans may describe the billionaire businessman's behavior in many ways, but psychologists and experts told us today that textbook bullying shouldn't be one of them. The greater challenge, the bullying experts say, is explaining the reasons for Trump's popularity in a culture that is supposed to frown on naked aggression. Well, we have that here, and we get lots of people listening. Bullying is the repeated intentional harm of another person who has less power than you did, says Dewey Cornell, a forensic psychologist and bullying expert at the University of Virginia. If it's him and Rosie O'Donnell going each other, they may have comparable power, he said. Certainly she outweighs him. Patty McDougall, associate professor of psychology at the University of Saskatchewan, also echoes, saying that bullying does not happen when you have two equals in a fight. Dumbasses. Well, most of Trump's targets, from prominent media figures like Ramos and Fox News' Megyn Kelly to fellow presidential candidates, have societal power in their own right. Trump has singled out Kelly, one of the nation's most watched cable news hosts. Yeah, she's watched because of her frickin' ass. It's just like that Yelena Jimenez doing the Mexican weather.
Yes.
You know. It's not because she's actually credible and we care what she has to say. Well, Trump has singled out Kelly, one of the nation's most watched cable news hosts ever, since she pointedly questioned him during a Fox News debate. He later insinuated that she was menstruating at the time, and since then, he's hurled insults at her, including retweeting a message on Twitter that called her a bimbo. Well, those attacks became just too much for Fox News chairman Roger Ailes, who's banging Kelly. And on Tuesday, called on Trump to apologize. During Tuesday's press conference, Trump told Ramos, described as the Walter Cronkite of Spanish-language television.
Yes.
Yes, quote, to go back to Univision. After the reporter who hadn't been called on attempted to confront Trump about his stance on immigration, Not all of Trump's targets have been co-equals, though. In a July interview, Trump told NBC News reporter Katie Tur that she was a very naive person. When Tur stumbled while citing some statistics, he mocked her. You don't even know what you're talking about. Well,
yes.
You know, hey, I got an idea. Any of you great research journalists out there,
yes,
have you? And Trump says this. Have you read the book?
Yes.
Okay, there it is. I got the hardcover first edition, baby. All right, now, in it,
yes,
he says, and he doesn't just say it once. He doesn't.
Yes.
No, he doesn't just say it twice. He says it like 750,000 times throughout the entire book. I don't like to waste time. So, I'm thinking if you're going to interview Donald Trump,
yes,
might be an idea to know what you're talking about and have your facts straight, and if you're quoting statistics, get them right, because he'll know. You media people out there, you gotta understand, you're not just interviewing another dumbass like Obama. There we go. He mocked her. You don't even know what you're talking about. Absolutely, and I would say that too. I mean, who wouldn't? Why piss around? Why is this meat suit in front of me flapping its face? What do you want? While experts may cast doubt on Trump's status as a textbook bully, there's no doubt that his style is brash and aggressive, and that it appeals to a considerable segment of the Republican electorate, which continues to place him at the top of national polls by leaps and bounds on top of all the other ninnies.
Yes.
There are certain people who enjoy the bravado. They look up to that and view it as strength. Well, yeah, that kind of supposed to have that in a leader. That's right. There are certain people who do enjoy that. A registered psychologist in Vancouver who's counseled adults and children of children who have been bullied is Derek Swain. He's the one who sees that people do enjoy the bravado and look up to what they view as strength. It's kind of a relic of our primitive history, Cornell says. Hierarchies were established through power and domination, not equality and black lives. Well, regardless of anybody's feelings toward him, Americans seem to enjoy watching Trump. The August debate in Cleveland was the most watched primary debate ever. This is like watching reality TV unfolded before you, says McDougal. How much of this is about the fact that we are at heart voyeurs? Trump has also targeted his GOP rivals. Trump said that South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, also a 2016 GOP candidate, doesn't seem like a very bright guy. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry put on glasses so people think he's smart, Trump says last month. Well, he's attacked Arizona Senator John McCain's Vietnam War service. Of course, McCain later said such attacks are Trump's trademark and that he attacks everybody. No apology is necessary, said McCain, because he's right. And I remember that, Gilbert.
Yes.
He's all over Senator McCain because, everybody, just glorifies the fact that McCain was a Vietnam War prisoner and he was tortured like a bitch, right? and of course, from Trump's perspective.
Yes.
Well, you got captured. You're combat non-effective. You're useless. You failed. Yes, there you go. So that's what up with that, America. Trump's aggressive style has risks. Last week, two men in Boston beat up a homeless Hispanic man. We told you about that. While invoking Trump and making anti-immigrant comments, he condemned the attack, of course. A number of his targets have also been women. According to a 2011 column from the New York Times opinion writer Gail Collins, Trump sent her a copy of one of her previous articles in which she had taken a jab at his business record. Her photo was circled with the words, "Face of a dog." He's also called Huffington Post editor-in-chief Arianna Huffington a, quote, dog on Twitter. While such aggressive use of power can be successful in business, says McDougall, the same is generally not true of government and foreign affairs. People in the public sector who aggressively use power do not succeed, she said. Diplomatic skills are key to the nation's success. Yada, 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 52% bitch. And, you know, that's another thing that really gets me about this, too. You know, all these people, well, you know, that doesn't work in politics.
Yes.
You can't be like that in politics. Politics isn't like that. Well, no.
Yes.
No, politics isn't like that. But as we've proven and as we know from the last 200 and however many years, politics does not work. So there you are. You're out there in the forefront of the news headlines saying, oh, yes, well, his style doesn't work with politics. Politics doesn't work.
Yes.
The people are actually going for this guy because they want something to work. You know, and Obama today, where was he? Lincoln Center, Assembly Place? I don't know.
Yes.
He was out there, and he was saying in a speech today, he's like, you know, Obamacare, nobody knows what it is, how it works. Nobody, right? He says Trump care is simple.
Yeah.
He says, after I get all these illegals out of this country, after we get them all out of this country,
yes,
that's it. Every other real American,
yes,
every other real American is going to get a gold Trump card. Right? And all you do, anything you need, you need dental work.
Yes,
you've fallen down on a fence and crushed your testicles. You know, you go to emergency.
Yes,
you present your testicles and the card.
Yes.
Oh, that was good. Yes, you present your testicles and your card as long as it's the gold Trump card. You just get taken care of. That's medical care that works, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. So there we go. Now that we've had that kind of upbeat and fun story,
yes,
let's just throw it all down the toilet with an Obama story. Yes, that's right. Washington today, President Obama has opened another front in his all-out lobbying blitz for an Iran nuclear deal. Local television stations.
Yes.
Yeah. He has. Obama was scheduled to give one-on-one interviews at the White House Wednesday afternoon with news anchors from Detroit, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. It's the president's view and the new view of his team that we more elevate this discussion, that more of the American people have the opportunity to hear the arguments in favor of this agreement. More likely, they are to support it. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said today, and that's the reason that the president will do those interviews today as part of our ongoing effort to build as much support for this heinous, ridiculous plan as possible. Well, Ernest says the White House had targeted the television market strategically. Those are markets that are represented in the United States Congress by Democrats and Republicans, some of whom have not announced their final position on the agreement. Some of them have recently announced their position on that agreement, and I think that we can expect some supportive comments from the president in that regard. So I think it's a little bit of both, he said. Undecided senators from states getting interviews include Marina Cantwell, Democrat of Washington, Bob Casey, Democrat of Pennsylvania, and Gary Peters, Democrat of Michigan. In his interview with WJLA in Washington, D.C., he expressed optimism that Congress would not block the deal. You know, the politics of these things today are going to be very different from the politics a year or 2 years from now when Donald Trump takes over the world. Yes, the truth is that this is probably going to be challenging, but not as challenging as getting the Affordable Care Act done, Obama says. It's unfortunate that we had Republicans immediately uniform oppose the deal even before the deal was signed, but before they even read it. Why would they need to read it? You've got a bunch of scum-sucking terrorists. You got scum-sucking terrorists.
Yes.
And you got a deal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a deal that the scum-sucking terrorists want you to sign. What senator or congressman, living and breathing in their right mind needs to read it? Well, the live from the White House strategy is one Obama has used before. Invite local television anchors for exclusive interviews, giving them behind-the-scenes access to the West Wing. Today was the fourth time this year he's done a round of local television interviews. In February and June, the main agenda was then trade, and in April it was the economic agenda he calls the middle-class economics, which don't exist. But the local reporters also often ask about local issues. New Orleans is making the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, of course, and Seattle is battling western wildfires made worse by drought. The stations getting interviews Wednesday are WXYZ in Detroit, WWL in New Orleans, WPVI in Philadelphia, and Cairo News in Seattle, as well as WJLA in Washington, D.C. And, I'm glad they didn't invite us. Well, and finally today, yes, the final story of the day. It's right here. It's right here. Yeah. NASA says that SpaceX is not receiving any special treatment in their crash probe. No, it's true. NASA is defending its probes into the crashes of two separate rockets following suggestions by a key congressional lawmaker that the agency is showing favoritism to the aerospace company that built one of the rockets. NASA Administrator Charles Bolden Jr. said that the accidents involving an Orbital Sciences Antares rocket that crashed in Virginia in October and another involving a SpaceX rocket that crashed in Florida in June are being investigated differently. Both are facing agency reviews. He rejected suggestions by the Republican Rep. Lamar Smith of Texas, who chairs the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee, that SpaceX is receiving any preferential treatment. NASA set up an independent accident review team following the orbital mishap that allowed SpaceX to conduct its own probe into the June crash. Smith wrote to Bolden on August 4th, and Smith also questioned why NASA's only participation in SpaceX accidents consisted of including an agency representative on the company's investigative team and not in a voting capacity. The discrepancy between the approaches taken by NASA in response to these two similar events raises questions not only about the equity and fairness of NASA's process for initiating independent accident investigations, but also the fidelity of those investigations themselves, Smith wrote. Both rockets were carrying supplies to the International Space Station when they crashed shortly after liftoff. Smith said differences in the two probes seem particularly perplexing, given that SpaceX was planning to use a similar Falcon 9 vehicle to launch astronauts into space stations under a contract NASA recently awarded under the Commercial Crew Program to replace the Space Shuttle. In a letter to Smith Monday, Bolden said the assertion that NASA opted to forego its own examination of SpaceX accidents is an incorrect premise. While NASA did not set up the same accident review team for the SpaceX crash that it did for the orbital accident, Bolden said, the agency is examining the June 28th SpaceX failure through existing mechanisms that he described as more efficient and just as effective as a separate review board. In both accident investigations, NASA has gained significant insight into the findings and the rationale developed by the contractors, Bolden wrote. In addition, the government is being afforded access to all data and physical evidence, as well as access to the contractor teams in support of both independent review and team efforts. Bolden also cited a long history of information sharing between NASA and the Air Force, which is also investigating the crashes. Both launches were licensed by the Federal Aviation Administration. SpaceX spokesman John Taylor said the investigation process is playing out as intended. Per the plan agreed to prior to flight, representatives from NASA, the Air Force, and the FAA have been actively involved in the SpaceX mishap investigation from day one, he said. The investigation have benefited from their expense expertise, and SpaceX greatly appreciates their ongoing participation in those efforts. It's not the time for members of Congress have raised questions, too, about NASA's decision to mothball the space shuttle and allow private contractors to compete for the job of ferrying cargo, and later this year, astronauts to the space station from launch pads in the U.S. Some lawmakers have said that the contracting process offers aerospace companies too much latitude without enough oversight. The Obama administration spars annually with Congress over how much to provide the Commercial Crew Program. Both Orbital and SpaceX contracts to deliver several payloads of supplies to the space station and have said that they expect to resume flights to the orbiting lab by the end of the year. In his letter to Smith, Bolden said lawmakers who doubt SpaceX's ability to find and fix the problem behind the June crash should be aware that NASA holds a trump card. Yes, the agency can choose not to authorize any future missions until it is satisfied. So I'm taking my toys and going the frick home. That's right. Baron Benesky, a spokesman for Orbital, also known as Orbital ATK, declined to comment on the assertion his company is being treated unfairly. We're moving forward. We're putting this all behind us, he said. How another company is being treated for whether there's fairness in the system, well, we'll leave that to NASA and the legislators to figure that out. I'm going home. So there it is. No, wrong one, Kissy. Jesus Christ, what the hell? Thank you. You know what it is? I think she actually fell asleep. I want to thank the one, the only Louis Lawless for being here today, as always, sir.
I nearly got kicked out of a theater. I can't remember what I saw about 2 weeks ago because I was booing and screaming.
All right, well, don't do that again, because if you get arrested, you won't be here tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you also, Gilbert, for being here.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
And, of course, the one, the only George Takei, spaceman extraordinaire. Thank you for being here again, my friend.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly. It has been a fantastic experience.
Well, the first two segments with all that oil and gay sex, yeah.
You are a douchebag.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And on behalf of this douchebag, I want to thank the listeners of HTLA out there. Greg Howe, of course, Phil DeYoung, Sharon Chesley. Don't know where Devlon is. She may have actually been in that SpaceX explosion. If so, of course, condolences to the Crawford family. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. Coffee and cigarettes, your Thursday double-double, or whatever the hell they finally name it.
Yes.
I'll be coming at you 5 p.m. Eastern. Come join us, have a coffee, have a smoke, relax. We'll talk about some more Donald Trump. That's what we'll... Have yourselves a good night. That's right. Better hold on to your butts. Hold on to something. That's right. And if you're going on the air with some other show, well, don't do it till this one's over. You won't get nobody. That's right. Of course it is. 5 p.m. Eastern in the big city of downtown New York right now. Today, hustling and bustling. 80 degrees in Central Park right now. Sunny skies. Few clouds. Nothing to worry about. Yeah. This is HTLA, Radio 1, New York's best talk, of course, and your coffee and cigarettes Thursday double-double. Coming to you live from Studio 2, downtown Manhattan. And hey, have we got a show for you today? I think we do. Yes, that's right. Oh, you want me to tell you about it? Yeah, that is kind of my job around here. All right, well, let's get rolling with it, shall we? I'll tell you about the report out of Virginia today. Yes, it's official. The gun in the Virginia television murders was purchased legally. If that matters at all. I don't know. They're trying to say it does, so we'll go with it. Also today, the New York Daily News cover is causing huge outrage over graphic images of those slain journalists. We'll talk about that. Also today, up to 50 refugees have been found dead in a truck in Austria. I didn't know they had... Who the hell's a refugee in and around Austria? I don't know, but we'll get to it today. Also, Texas news, that's right, front lawn dinosaurs are causing a huge stir in a Texas neighborhood. Other stories we're following today include Baltimore mayor comes out on guns, gangs, and homicides, and... that's right, Clinton news. Yes, today Clinton breaks her silence. Says GOP candidates' views on women are akin to those of terrorists. Well, that's okay, Hillary. You're not too good with dealing with terrorism. But hey, we got all that and so much more today, gang. So hey, come on in and grab that cup. Have a seat. Light one up. It is your coffee time. There you go. It is your theme for Coffee and Cigarettes, Kennedy's song right here on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. And of course, yes, of course, the song remains the same. There you go. Moving on today, want to do some shout-outs and hey-dees and how-dos. Of course, the one, the only Phil DeYoung currently says 70 degrees and cloudy, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I can't see the damn sun. We'll look forward to a traffic report later from him. Also, it is 80 degrees, of course, in New York's Central Park right now under sunny skies. Some clouds out there, but nothing really to worry about. Also want to welcome the intern today. Yes, he is in the house in the live chat room. And, well, hey, you know, if you want to get in the live chat room too, get on over to NewYorksBestTalk.com. Hit up the show page. Yes, you get us live there. You got a chat room where you can share up nothing but filthy, dirty photos that nowhere else will let you share. We'll let you share them here. You betcha. You get on over there. Moving on today, we got lots of stuff to cover. So the first person that's going to help me do that, of course, is the one, the only Kissy Springer in the booth today, pushing the buttons and making the show go, as it were. And of course, she's pushing the buttons on that pre-Sonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer we use here. And hey, if you are looking at any kind of gear in the audio world, you want to get yourself over to presonus.com and check out what they got. They are, after all, number one. Yes, and also this show is brought to you, of course, by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City, now with those 8 fine locations in the city to serve all your coffee and baked goods needs. And we've got a handy little link there for you at NewYorksBestTalk.com. Just click on that, and it'll take you right to the store locator. You'll be there in no time. Tim Hortons, always fresh. Kind of like me. Yeah, pretty much doesn't matter. You stick me with a half-ass way attractive girl anywhere, and I'm going to be all over like sticky, fun cement or something. Yeah. There you go. Welcome to the show, everybody. Good to see you all here. And, yeah, got a good show lined up and got some interesting topics we're going to cover today. And, of course, I don't cover those by myself. No siree. It's time to introduce our guest/co-hosts on the Good Coffee Show today. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good cigarette. First of all, coming to us live from Millbay Film and Television Production Studios in downtown Millbay, British Columbia, Canada. It's the one, the only, Mr. Louis Lawless, 35-time Academy Award nominee, never won a single one. Morgan Spurlock pisses him off to no end, but he's not bitter. Louis, are you there, sir?
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award, and we didn't.
Yeah, but did you hear what I said about Morgan Spurlock, though?
He called me, and he called me. And he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Yeah. You know, he's got a nice mother. You know that, right?
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Yeah, I think Kissy's got you covered. You fill your boots.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
You don't want to talk about Spurlock's mom? Come on. Yes, and coming to us from, I'm gonna say it. Yes, coming live from Madison Square Garden, it's wrestling extraordinaire, the Cackler. That's right, there he is. The one, the only, Mr. Gilbert Gottfried in the house from about 8 blocks down the street here from Studio 2, sitting in his, I believe it's his study in his apartment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where he does his little, failed podcast. And do you have your intro all ready today?
What the fuck?
Do you? Well, I gotta ask.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, you give the fans your perfect, absolutely stunning Gilbert Gottfried introduction. Take it away.
And this is, I that up.
All right. So I guess it's safe to say you're not ready.
Yeah.
Also, joining us from his beautiful, sprawling, mansion-esque type home in Malibu, California, and really in Malibu, is there any home that's not sprawling and mansion-esque? Yeah. So one, the only George Takei. Good to see you, George.
I think it's a treat to be here talking with you.
No, don't worry, that will change. Yes, it will, absolutely. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself, sir.
I'm George Takei, and when I'm walking down the street, people shout out, "Hey, Sulu!" So I'm no more as Sulu than as George Takei,
right?
Which is what I really am.
Okay, well, we'll just call you Sulu. Yeah. Yeah. And, of course, you wouldn't be Sulu, of course, without all that speculation about banging Captain Kirk.
I did not sleep with him.
Well, you say that now. Yeah.
You are a douchebag.
Just trying to be fair and clear here at the start of the show.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, that's okay, because around here, you know, we like to bring up the absolute worst about everybody and make it public. Yeah.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a fucking American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Well, there you have it.
Okay, now this brings me to my other most important topic, me.
Nah, no, I don't want to go there right now. No, we've got a bunch of stuff to do. We've got a show to do. I'm sure, George has got to tell us all about being interned in his concentration camp. Poor bastard. But, no, we got a lot to cover today, and
yes.
So I think we should just, dive right the hell in and get on this stuff, because it's like, well, I don't know, it's like the mind of a Negro. It's a terrible thing to waste, you know? Yes, and the sooner you Negroes stop wasting it, that'll be better.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Did you have a lot of Negroes that went there?
I think it should be short and sweet.
Actually, I heard a lot of critics writing that about your film. Well, moving along here, we got some stuff to get to, of course. Yes, and never fear, of course, we'll have your HTLA traffic and, the wrong weather. That'll be coming up after the first commercial break. And then, of course, after the second commercial break, as we always do when George is here, we have the mailbag, the listener mail question of the day for George Takei. Yes. So we will get to all that and so much more. Holy crap! There's just so much joy here today. I'm gonna whip it out and masturbate. It's just so damn good, you know. I don't know why my nipples are hard, but you know. Stop laughing, gay man. Official word, I think, from Phil DeYoung is all the babes of HTLA are absent today. They apparently, well, I don't know. I hear Brad Pitt has a radio show now. So. I guess it'll just be a wiener fest, George. Yeah, just a wiener fest for you. Well, let's move on to some of the stories first, shall we? It's official today. The gun in the VA television murders was purchased legally. So
yes.
You know what they're trying to say with this story. Oh, well, he was legal and he bought it and he killed people. So, you know. That one situation, that's going to let all the Crips and Bloods off the hook. Yes. Yes, that's right, gang. MS-13 and Supreme Court of the United States gets a walk because this gun happened to be legally purchased. Yes. Well, the gunman who murdered 2 Virginia journalists and wounded another person on live TV yesterday legally purchased 2 handguns last month, including the one that was used in the attack. He was able to pass a required background check despite his apparent emotional problems, a federal law enforcement official said. Yeah, like to see him down at that Muslim-free gun shop in Florida get past him. Yeah. Well, of course, as is the norm with HTLA, yes, the official was not authorized to talk to us, so I can't say his name. Yeah. Well, he's not authorized, of course, to comment publicly, but he still did. Yeah. That's right. Investor Flanagan bought 2 Glock 9mm handguns from a federally licensed dealer in Virginia, and there was nothing in his criminal background to prohibit, the transaction. The same weapon used early Wednesday morning by Flanagan to kill reporter Allison Parker, 24, and photographer Adam Ward, 27, was used also to kill himself, the official said. Flanagan's choice of weapon, the official said, also appeared to track his stated admiration of mass shooter Sing-Hee Cho. Yes, apparently Sing-Hee Cho killed 32 people in a 2007 attack at Virginia Tech, the deadliest school shooting in U.S. history until, 2009, 2010, 2011. Yes, Cho, who also killed himself, used a Glock in the attack. In a lengthy, rambling suicide message sent to ABC News, Flanagan referred to Cho as his boy. He also said, June 17th, Charleston church massacre sent me over the top, adding that he placed a deposit on a gun 2 days after the South Carolina shooting that left 9 dead. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. The disclosures about Flanagan's weapons purchases come as some made renewed calls for new laws to restrict firearms sales full stop in the United States. Yes, that's... Yeah. Well, although Flanagan passed a background check, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, a Democrat, said such checks should be required for private firearms transactions as well, a purchase option commonly referred to as the gun show loophole. A proposal for universal background checks would be part of a raft of gun control measures that failed to gain traction in the aftermath of 2012 Newtown school massacre. A background check that takes 2 to 3 minutes. I really believe everyone who purchases a firearm in our nation should go through a background check, McAuliffe said on CNN. It should be, or it shouldn't be, political. In an earlier statement issued by his office, the governor said that even while the tragedy was still fresh, it's an appropriate time to begin to ask questions about how we can prevent these senseless events in the future. Keep our guns out of the hands of people who would use them to harm our family, friends, and loved ones is not a political issue. It's a matter of ensuring more people can come home safely at the end of the day, he said. Short of all-inclusive background checks, McAuliffe spokesman Brian Coy said the governor is seeking to prohibit gun show dealers from advertising at those events, and purchasers do not require background checks. There are easy, common-sense steps we can take, Coy said. Yeah, I kind of like to refer up to Canada, actually, for the gun thing, because, We've got guns all over Canada. In fact, Michael Moore actually pointed out that per person, we have way more guns in Canada than we do in the United States.
Yes.
And, the interesting thing is, that one incident at Parliament notwithstanding, like the first ever incident like that in Canada ever.
Yes.
Right? Well, you leave that out, and really there's no other murders, deaths, kills with... There's just not. I mean, a Canadian will sooner take a baseball bat to you.
Yes.
Or a paper clip.
Yes.
You laugh. We're deadly with paper clips. Yeah, no, that's the thing. But you see, we don't have the whack jobs doing it because the whack jobs always get found out and they never get guns.
Yes.
We're common sense about it. Do you have a criminal background? No, you don't. Okay, well, let's see. Are you a fucking whack job? Yeah, you're a little whack jobby. We're gonna pass. Yeah. But I mean, we don't have that problem. It's just not. Yes. It's just not up there. It's not up there. It's down here. It's. I don't know if it's cultural or if it's societal or if it's black. It's a black thing.
No, I don't. Because I asked him. I said, "Well, fly out here and I'll film you."
Mm-hmm. No, the guy with the gun. Yeah. Well, no, don't laugh, because Louis always will film these psychopaths to put in his documentaries. Yeah. Well, anyway.
He called me, and he called me, and he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Yeah. Well, he's dead now, so, Well, Andy Parker, the slain reporter's grief-stricken father, said Thursday that he would join the ranks of families who have lost loved ones to gun violence to seek new firearms controls. How many times are we going to see incidents like this happen, Parker said? Well, actually, technically, this is the first one. Yeah. Oh, no, it is. It's the first, multiple shooting by somebody who purchased a gun legally.
Yes.
Yeah. So, stuff it, gun people. How many times are we going to see incidents like this happen, Parker said on MSNBC, ticking off the list of recent mass shootings, none of which the guns were obtained legally. Yes, he says we have to find a way to keep crazy people from getting guns. Yes, the incident, the latest in a series of stunning gun attacks in the U.S., also prompted new questions on gun policy for candidates on the presidential campaign trail, of course. During a stop in South Carolina, Republican frontrunner Donald Trump said that the Virginia incident was not about guns, it's about mental instability. Oh, yeah! see, right there's my man.
Yes.
That's my boy. Yeah.
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine, Louis. I'll go with that absolutely because, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no hiding around it or nothing. Yeah.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, sir. And I'll do it actually right during the commercial break. I'll fill out that check. I will. Then I'll get Kissy to sign it, so I will screw it. Well, we're going to go for that first 2-minute break, but don't worry, when we come back, we got the big story in New York City today. Of course, the New York Daily News cover is causing absolute freaking out, exploding outrage over the graphic images of the slain journalists. I don't know. I'm thinking damn fine reporting, boys. But don't worry, we'll get to that and so much more when we're back into...
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness? Then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it. Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
He enjoys being the center of everything. And when he's on the set, he dominates.
Yeah.
You may have heard about some of the difficulties that cast members had.
No.
We might be preparing a scene where it'd be close up on you, and then it would shift to Bill, and then you'd see Bill in a whispered conversation with the director, and the setup was changed. And it was on Bill, and you were the offstage voice.
Right.
And so things like that, sometimes has a way of rubbing you in one direction. But, Captain Kirk is a Bill Shatner creation.
Yeah.
It's his metabolism. I mean, he vibrates Captain Kirk. And so it's, Bill's unique talent, energy, and persona that made Captain Kirk the kind of character that he was. So it was fun to watch him act.
Yeah.
Some of those scenes that he did were just inspired.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. In television, you don't get to rehearse that much. So to see an actor be able to produce, and then you have a second take, and there it is again.
Yeah.
And it's a little different. And it's a little bit better, It's he was fascinating to watch.
Okay, quit.
Sometimes difficult to work.
No, George, quit sucking his dick. He gets paid to do that. Wow. God, if that's animosity, God, I'd want you to hate me. Christ, man, it sounds like you were introducing him, before he was about to get the Academy Award for that shit. Well, hey, welcome back to the big show, of course. Your Thursday double-double of coffee and cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's Best Talk. That's right. Get on over to newyorksbesttalk.com. Hit up that show page. Get in the chat room. Get part of the global evolution.
Yes.
Yes. There's a global evolution going on, and it's all about this shitty show. Yeah. And just wanted to make a little side note, too. Listener actually in the live chat room right now.
Yes.
He's actually making commentaries that he says that he would just like to say that Canadian Negroes have full access to quality pistols as well. And he's absolutely right. They do.
Yes.
You know, but this is where I was kind of saying earlier in the last segment on that story that it was more societal and maybe cultural because... you know, the Negroes in Canada ain't like the Negroes down here. Oh no, it's true. They're just not. I mean,
Yes.
you know that there's a completely well. I mean, I think it's that Canadian thing.
Yes.
You know. Well, no, it is because you know, down here it's like if you look at one of them wrong, you got a problem, motherfucker. You know, and their voice goes all up and squeaky, and
Yes.
and they start posing and dancing and some
Yes.
shit. Bitch and grabbing their crotch, you know. You know, in Canada, in Toronto specifically, for instance,
Yes.
you know, if you're looking at a black guy on the bus or the subway or whatever the hell they have there, yeah, you look at him and he's like, "Oh, hello, nice to see you today." Oh, yes, I was out. I did purchase a handgun. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to see it? It's nice. Yes. You know, and he'll hand it to you, and it's got rounds in it.
Yes.
You know, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, this is cool. I like this, yeah. How much did you pay for it? Oh, I think $1,200, I believe.
Yeah.
You know. Down here, it's like, yo, bitch, get your motherfucking hands off my guy. And then, you know, but that's what I'm saying about the societal and cultural differences.
Yes.
You know, it's the same way in England. You know, there's one hell of a lot of blacks in England, and it's the same thing. You know, you look at one of them sideways, and you're like, oh, good day, sir. A gun? No, I don't believe I own a gun, but I do have a nice bobby. Yes. And you're flashing through the tourist dictionary trying to figure out what the hell a bobby is.
Yes.
You know? Oh, whatever. Welcome back to the Big Show, gang, for this Thursday, the 27th of August, 2015. 79 degrees Central Park right now. Just kind of clouded over, so I guess screw you. Winter's here. Yeah. Yeah, and moving the hell on. I'm not going to do it. I usually try and skip past the whole mess that I'm about to not skip past. But no, I'm not going to do that. And we do have to go to Mr. Brock Favors, of course, for HTLA's traffic somewhere in Los Angeles. And you know, I'm sure George appreciates that. Not that you drive, because you're having this personal conflict. I'm TK, I'm Sulu. I'm TK, I'm Sulu. But here we go. Here's Brock Favors, HTLA Chopper 1, bringing you today's traffic in L.A.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with Traffic on the Ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports, and I'm up here in the chopper, but I got to tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh, my God! Oh, no, stop! Oh! Whew. All right. Well, we are over the 10. It is massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do, oh, God, yeah, we're gonna die in this mother. Yeah. Oh, my God! Woo! Okay. Okay, I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, please! Oh, goddamn! Oh, get me out this motherfucking death machine right now! Yeah. Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, right now. Ain't nobody going down this. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks. I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
And, of course, as always, HTLA would like to offer its condolences to the Favors family.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it should be short and sweet.
That clip pretty much is, if you stop and think that he dies every time, he's, I don't know. Was it like a minute and a half? Imagine if you only had a minute and a half to live, Louis. And now imagine that every day. Oh, and of course, we got requests from the chat room, Gilbert. Leno!
So I read somewhere that you and Videka, can you show it to me?
That's right. That's right. HTLA, the only place where you're going to find a dick. Well, let's see. Moving on today, no updates from Grand Rapids, so I'm assuming traffic there is light to non-existent. Yes. And, of course, I don't know where Greg Howe is today.
Yes.
And I do know he's, well, I don't know, maybe. Oh, no, actually, I do know why, yeah.
Yes.
No, he's Sharon and Devlon and all the HTLA girls, of course, are over at Brad Pitt's show. So, yeah, he'll be over there listening.
Yes,
that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, so last word, gang. I'll give you the update for Niagara Falls. Last we heard, it was 18 degrees and cloudy, which is 68 or something.
Yes,
it's not bad. But it's Niagara Falls. I mean, who the hell wants to live there? All right, well, I mentioned to get at our next story about the New York Daily News here because, of course, that's important. Yeah. But can't do that, without doing the idiot. So we'll put out to the chat room first. Any guesses on where, Doofy is today?
Yes.
I'm thinking it's, Thursday. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking I think Thursday is the Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think, or did we do that yesterday? I don't know, but here he is coming to you live from wherever the Christ he may be. This just in. Yes, it's official. Greg Howe is not sleazing around the Brad Pitt podcast. No, he is in the house. He was just remaining ever silent.
Yes.
Yeah. Hamilton, Ontario today, 18 and cloudy. Well, look at that. It's like, I think you could pretty much pick anywhere in Canada, and it's always 18 and cloudy.
Yes.
Well, there you go. That's the official update. Thank you, Greg. That was great that you chimed in and gave it to us there, rather than chiming in and giving it to Brad Pitt. Yeah. There we go. Yes, without further ado, let's get this idiot out of the way. Let's take you now live to the one, the only Frankie McDonald, and weather as only he knows it. Yeah.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Powerful storm is heading for Vancouver, British Columbia on Saturday, September 28th, 2013. It's going to be a period of real heavy rain and a strong winds along the coast of British Columbia. It's going to hit Vancouver, British Columbia, especially in greater Vancouver area because of the intense low pressure system. Is going to be in west of British Columbia. It's going to bring a lot of rain in greater Vancouver area and Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast, and the western coast of British Columbia. It's going to bring up to 50 plus millimeters of rain in greater Vancouver and Vancouver Island. People in Vancouver, be prepared. Have your rubber boots ready, have your raincoats ready, have your raincoats ready, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver on Saturday. It's going to affect Fraser Valley as well, such as Abbotsford, Chilliwack, and Hope, and Greater Vancouver's getting a lot of rain. And the west coast of British Columbia as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coke.
It's going to be a big waves on the shore and the beaches. There are a lot of Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast. Stay away from the beaches. Don't go near the shore because a lot of rain is heading for Vancouver and the very strong winds. And the wind's going to gust up to over 100 kilometers per hour, especially in
Vancouver?
a lot of coast of British Columbia, like Vancouver Island and Greater Vancouver.
Okay.
And people of Vancouver, don't open up your umbrella, or your umbrella could get broken because winds will be too strong to support an umbrella.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be periods of heavy rain in Greater Vancouver and Vancouver Island, and winds are going to be very strong
What's the Chinese food
in
situation?
Vancouver, British Columbia, and Victoria, British Columbia as well, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver.
Yeah, you said that.
And the winds are going to be very strong. A lot of the coast of British Columbia, especially people living in the coast of Vancouver Island as well. There will be big waves hitting along the coast. The power will go out. Have your flashlights ready. Have your extra batteries ready. Have your crank-up radio ready. Have your candles ready just in case the power goes out. Have your cell phones charged. Have your iPads charged. Have your iPods charged. Have your tablets charged. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food.
There we go. Yeah.
Because it's going to be very stormy conditions from Saturday, September the 28th, 2013 until Monday, September 30th, 2013 in Greater Vancouver, British Columbia. It's going to get a powerful storm. Best of luck to you, people in Vancouver.
Yep.
Be prepared for a lot of rain.
Right on.
And don't drive your car to the flood.
Okay.
Or your car could get stalled.
Yep. Puddles.
When you go for a walk, wear your rain gear, avoid the umbrellas, and avoid the puddles when you're driving a car.
Puddles will fuck you. Yeah.
Don't walk in the puddles in Greater Vancouver area. Best luck to you.
All right. Thank
People
you.
in Greater Vancouver, be prepared for a lot of rain. Take care.
Okay, Frankie. Thank you very much. That's great. And in case he wasn't adamant enough there, make sure you avoid those puddles. They will fuck you. They will. Absolutely.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Well, I know.
You got to dispense more love from yourself. All these people are hurting here.
No, Frankie just needs to do his job. Oh, well, I'm getting the official move along from Phil DeYoung, so you know I'm screwed. Yeah. Yeah.
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
Really? Is that... Yeah? You think so, huh?
No. No, I don't.
Well, whatever. It's all done. It's all done, and that's, yeah. Oh, and this just in. That's right. Coming to you with information you want to know.
Yes.
Yeah, We just got the big word here. Greg Howe says, is Frankie and Louie related, and where the hell is Mill Bay, British Columbia? Well, it's a good question. I'll field it.
Yes.
Yep. It's a good one, Greg. Actually, Mill Bay, British Columbia, is actually, nowhere on the continental Canada.
Yes.
It's not... It's no wonder you can't find it. That's where the Americans keep their secret naval base. No, it's true. Well, okay, technically they call it Nanoose Bay.
Yes.
But that's actually about 2 hours north of Mill Bay. At least that's what they want the terrorists to think. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's that long island on the west coast of Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, that long thing. Well, at the very, very, very bottom microfiber tip of that is, of course, Victoria, British Columbia, where yours truly is from.
Yes.
Yes, and I was born in a microfiber. Yes. There you go. So that's Victoria, British Columbia, and then just across the water from that, heading westward there, you'll come across that rain-stricken Vancouver. But Mill Bay is on that island about it's about 30 minutes north of Victoria.
Yes,
it's just you go up the little island highway there about 30 minutes, and don't blink, and that'll be Mill Bay. Yeah. Yeah, it's tiny little. Actually, it used to be a logging town.
Yes.
Till the New Zealanders, bought up all the forests and clear cut the bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, free trade. Yes. Thank you for that. That was a great deal that the U.S. made with New Zealand for our lumber. Yeah. Anyway, of course, it was a logging town until they clear cut the shit out of it in 1986 thereabouts. And of course, Mill Bay is just a ghost town. I mean, there's literally there's like a 7-Eleven.
Yes.
There's a little food store to try and keep the people alive.
Yes.
And that's about it. And actually, yes, listener, Victoria is, I would say Canada's most beautiful town, absolutely. It's really popular with the U.S. sailors. Yeah. It is. And the reason for this, of course, is because we have, like, total babes in Victoria, And of course, those total babes, they like it on the hood of your car. Yeah, George, you like it on the hood of the car too? Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that reaction.
Well, I got to ask. I don't know what it's like to bang a man on the hood of my car. I just, got to put it out there. Anyway, we're really getting behind in time. We got to cut this short, so I'm going to just finish up by saying,
yes,
you're looking for some nice snatch, go to Victoria. And if you're looking for Mill Bay Film and Television Production Studios, you go up to Mill Bay,
yes,
and right at the main intersection there, because there is only one.
Yes,
And you can't miss it either. It's right on the highway.
Yes.
And there's the main crossroad there, and there's like a stoplight.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. You're asking yourself, who puts a stoplight on a highway? Yeah. I know. Well, I'll tell you, Canadians do. Yeah, that's right. So you hit the stoplight, you hang a right.
Yes.
You drive up the windy road there for about, 3.5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll come across Mill Bay Film and Television Production Studios. And actually, the owner,
yes,
his name is Robin Webb, and he's not very big over in North America here for film and television, but he's pretty legendary over in Europe and the UK particularly.
Yes.
He's huge career with the BBC, and well, I don't know. Somehow he and Louis are really tight friends. I don't. I don't know how. But maybe it's a gay thing. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Okay, fine. I'll let you plug the damn thing. What do you need the money for?
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter in the Academy Awards, and I think it's a fantastic risk because we have a tremendous chance. There's about 200 members that vote on it, and you have to give them a DVD now.
Right. So if you think it's such a tremendous risk, why aren't you using your money? Yeah.
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Do you see how he changes the subject?
Yes.
You see that? Well, moving on today, that was a fun little story, and yeah, again, Pussy Victoria. Yeah. Yes, and hats off and how-dos to the boys on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just a gangbang when they're in town. It is. So yeah, moving along today. The New York Daily News' cover this morning causes an absolute huge outrage over graphic images of a slain journalist, and I don't understand this. I've seen the front of it today,
yes.
and you know, the kids have video games that are bloodier than this. You know. But the New York Daily News, of course, is no stranger to provocative images and headlines, but critics say the paper went too far with its issue depicting the death of journalist broadcasters live on television. The newspaper published 3 still images from a video uploaded by suspended shooter Vester L. Flanagan. The graphic images show reporter Allison Parker of WDBJ-TV seconds before she was shot, up until the moment when it appears the first bullet hits her body. Parker and the cameraman Adam Ward were likely killed by a disgruntled... I keep wanting to say Adam West. It's Batman, you know? I don't know. But during a live interview with Vicki Gardner, executive director of the local Chamber of Commerce in Smith Mountain Lake, about 35 miles an hour. Yes, 35 miles an hour from Roanoke. Yeah. Yeah, you get up there about 35 miles an hour. You'll see it. Yeah. There you go. About 35 miles, thank you, from Roanoke, Virginia. He later posted the shooting on Facebook and Twitter. The Daily News is not alone in its decision to publish the graphic images. Several newspapers in the UK, including the Daily Mirror, the Daily Star of Scotland, and, of course, the Daily Sun, used images from the gunman's point of view in their Thursday covers. Other outlets like the BBC and The Guardian said it would not publish the videos, as that would be gauche. Well, at 9:19 p.m. a Wednesday, the Daily News tweeted, quote, an early look at tomorrow's front page executed live on TV. Yeah. Well, on Twitter, people have been using the hashtag boycott NY Daily News to express their anger over the cover. Nick Short tweeted that the cover was, well, glorifying the murder and showing no sympathy to the family. Well, get the family off Twitter, you heartless bastards. What are you doing? And you know, let's be fair here.
Yes.
If I just had my daughter murdered and she was the journalist in question and all that good stuff, am I? What the F am I doing on Twitter? You know, seriously, have a frickin' break.
Yes.
You know, come on. If any of you, I don't care, Louis, Gilbert, George, even the homosexual, you know, seriously though, if you have a family member that's been murdered like this in such a public way, and you know this kind of situation,
yes.
You know, are you going to be hanging around Twitter that night? No, no, you're not. Well, I don't know what the hell. Have some compassion for the family. They're watching this. Yeah. Yes, well, they used it to express their anger over the cover. Nick Short tweeted that the cover was glorifying the murder and showing no sympathy to the family as their daughter's dying moments plastered on the front page. Another person tweeted, in my 43 years on this planet, I have never seen a more reprehensible, irresponsible, disgusting front page. Really? Well, just wait for another year. Yeah. Well, Mike Drago, a commentary editor at the Dallas Morning News, called the New York Daily News' decision to post the stills death porn in an email to the Washington Post. How does he know about death porn? Well, showing the victim from the killer's perspective at the moment of her death was beyond the pale of exploitation, Drago told the Post. The New York Daily News' decision to publish the video stills on its front page puts a spotlight on the debate faced on the newsrooms across the country. No, it puts a spotlight on the New York Daily News. Suck it. It does. They're just all pissed because they didn't have the balls to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, on CNN, anchors say that they would show the video once every hour, while MSNBC and Fox News did not appear to have aired the actual shots at all, NPR reported. Jeffrey Marks says WDBJ TV station chief said after showing the video of the shooting once, they would not show it again. Yeah, so even the chick's own station showed the damn video once. Yeah. Oh, yes, that New York Daily News, they're terrible for putting out 3 stills on the cover.
Yes.
That's horrible. It's glorifying. It's death porn, I tell you. Chief, you want to roll the clip? Yeah, roll the clip. Yeah, roll the... Right. So they roll the clip.
Yes.
They roll the clip for ratings, you scum-sucking maggots. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but it's the New York Daily News. They're bastards.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, Jeffrey Marks, that station chief, said after showing the video of the shooting once, they wouldn't show it again. We were choosing not to run the video of that right now because, frankly, we don't need to see it again, Marks said on air Wednesday as the murders unfolded. Al Tompkins of Pointer said when it comes to showing the images, news outlets need to ask themselves what purpose it serves. Well, ratings. Money, we're selling it. Oh, reporter shot in the face, point blank on video, sell it! Yes, it depends on why you're using that video and how you will use it and how long you will use it, Tompkins said, a senior faculty member of the Broadcasting and Online told Pointer. It's not clear how many others will or won't, and indeed, I guess it boils down to whether they want the ratings. Okay. Well, moving on, we got to move on to our next story, of course. But Greg Howe,
yes,
he's in the chat room there, and he's spewing more wisdom. Yeah. He says, and this is important for all you folks going to Victoria to buy pussy. Greg says that is it not true that Victoria is also the highest priced real estate city in all of Canada? And that's a very good question, Greg, and it's interesting you mention that because actually, Greg and I were talking earlier today.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if it's because I mentioned my grandfather yesterday and the Detroit police.
Yes.
Yeah. But he was talking to me today. We were talking, and he was talking about the Toronto police, of course.
Yes.
And, we were talking about things to do with the Toronto police and whatnot, and it was all fun and games and stuff. Interesting thing about that, and kind of along the lines of police forces, too.
Yes.
Did you know Victoria City Police, actually, the city's main policing dudes, yes, the dudes of police, yes, Well, it is true, Greg, about the real estate prices, and it is also true that Victoria City Police is the one police force across Canada, bar none, who gets the most transfer requests from police officers in municipal police forces all across the country.
Yes.
And further to that as well, another interesting fact is the RCMP detachments out there.
Yes.
Of course, that's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for any of you drooling morons that don't have a clue. Yeah, the RCMP, they have detachments too, several of them in and around Victoria.
Yes.
And, it's the same thing with them too. They're getting RCMP officers from all over the country trying to transfer there and make our lives miserable too. So, yes, Greg, in answer to your question, yes, it is the highest real estate price in any city in Canada, and it was quite amazing to me actually moving out to the west coast of the United States because I'm used to houses costing pretty much bottom line $1 million.
Yes,
and then I come out here and I can get like 5 houses for $5,000. So there you go, Greg. I hope that answered your question and you enjoyed all that other useless crap I just fed you. Yeah. All right, now moving on today, up to 50 refugees found dead in a truck in Austria, if you can believe it. Yeah. Bodies of at least 20 refugees and as many as 50 were found Thursday in a tractor-trailer abandoned on the side of the road in eastern Austria near the Hungarian border, according to multiple media reports. The nationalities of the victims were not immediately clear, but Europe has been inundated by a recent flood of refugees from the Middle East and, of course, North Africa, particularly war-torn Syria. The sand spiders are moving north. Well, Hans Doskil, chief of the Burgenland police, says it's unclear whether the refugees suffocated in transport, as suggested they might have been dead for several days, the Austrian newspaper Der Presse reported. He said the truck had been there at least since Wednesday, but that police only investigated its contents today. Calling the incident a terrible crime, Doskil said that the number of victims could be as high as 50. Nobody wants to go in and start pulling out bodies. And yes, listener, there is indeed... Oh, wait a minute. Yes, that's right. There is indeed a Tim Hortons in Mill Bay.
Yes.
Yes, there is. Right beside the food store and the traffic light. Yeah. Geez, actually, now that I think about it, I'm kind of going back through driving through Mill Bay in my mind. I think the last time I was there was like 12 years ago.
Yes.
I think, don't quote me, I'm not sure about this, listener, but I think there is actually also a Burger King. I think there is. I think, yeah. Well, you got to have to see that. What it is they right at the intersection there.
Yes,
they've got some Indians that actually sell carvings.
Yes,
right. And when lunchtime hits, let's go to the Burger King, eh? Well, police spokesman Helmut Marbin said police stopped shortly before noon today. Yeah, today. Jeez, yeah, so I got the right day.
Yes.
Yeah. Shortly before noon today, thinking that the parked truck had some mechanical trouble, the Associated Press reports, they say they saw blood dripping from the back of the vehicle and noticed the smell of dead bodies. Well, the truck was apparently abandoned Wednesday and its back door was left open. Well, at least he was considerate enough to let them air out. Yeah. Yes, it was all said that the Hungarian license plates and the writing on the side and the back was in Slovakian. The state of the bodies suggested the migrants could have been dead for several days. Police said the investigation could last for days. They declined to give any further information on the victims' possible identities, whether children were among them, and how the migrants may have died, or any other details. The vehicle was found in the town of Parndorf in the state of Burgenland, on a road leading from Hungary. The deluge of migrants prompted the country to build a new border fence to keep them out. Oh, look at that! Implementing Trump policy. That's right. The truck once belonged to the Slovak chicken meat company Haiza, part of the Agrofert holding, which is owned by Czech Finance Minister Andrej Babis. Agrofert Holding said in a statement that it sold the truck in 2014. That's pretty much what I'd say, too. Yeah. You get a phone call.
Yes.
Yes, hello, is this Agrofert Holding? You'd be like, yeah. Yeah. Well, we found the truck here full of 50 dead bodies. Is it yours? Oh, no. We sold that last year.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the new owners apparently did not remove the truck's logos as required by HISA and has nothing to do with the truck now, the company added. Yes, one side of the truck has a slogan, Honest Chicken. Well, writing on the back says, I taste so well because they feed me so well. Yes. Well, human smugglers are criminals, Interior Minister Johanna Leitner said in a statement. Those who think that they are still gentle helpers of refugees that are beyond saving. She said the disaster was a signal to Europe to act as quickly as possible. The latest news came as a summit of European and Western Balkan countries meet to discuss on migration issues, and it's underway in Vienna right now to address the refugee crisis and tackle the problem of human trafficking gangs. Germany has urged all European states to share the burden. A record number of 107,500 migrants crossed the EU's borders last month, and on Wednesday, police counted more than 3,000 crossing into Serbia, the BBC reported. So, you know, that's what we got. It's all the damned airstrikes. It's pushing all the sand spiders north. Yeah. There you go. So that's actually good for us to know.
Yes.
Because now we can start bombing Europe. Yeah. Well, moving on today, we do have Texas news, and I'm really kind of pissed that Sharon's not here because you know I know she really enjoys those Texas gems I bring every day. But no, she is not in the house today. So we're going to go for our second commercial break. Don't worry. When we come back, we're still going to give you all the Texas news. That's right. Front lawn dinosaurs causing a huge stir in a Texas neighborhood. It's going to be fun. We'll be back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more number one choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Well, actually, what shaped my life is what happened to all Japanese Americans during the Second World War.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor was bombed. And overnight, American citizens of Japanese ancestry were looked at with suspicion
Yeah.
and fear and outright hatred
Well-
simply because we happen to look like the people that bombed Pearl Harbor.
Okay, well, let's be fair here. Most Americans at that particular point in time didn't know what the Japs looked like, right? And of course, once we did, I think that was what, the 60s?
Yes.
Yeah. So, cry me a river, George. Don't. I don't think that's anything to worry about.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Well, no. No, the last thing I'm going to do is give George Takei any love unless it's live on the air for ratings. Yeah.
No, I don't. Because I asked him, I said, well, fly out here and I'll film you.
Oh, you're going to get into gay porn now? Is that... Yeah. Well, hey, whatever pays the bills, right? Yeah. I've got some urination footage you should look at, Louie.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of urination, welcome back to this show. Yeah. That's right. Of course, this is your Coffee and Cigarettes Thursday Double-Double for the 27th of August, 2015 on HTLA Radio 1, New York's Best Talk. And, hey, if you're not there yet, get on over to NewYork'sBestTalk.com and check out that show page. Get in there. Lick it up. Lick it. Taste my salty show.
Yes.
There we are, and we are back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere. And now it is, yeah. Okay, and you're going to give it to me this time? Actually, going to let me have the goddamn email? Yeah. Well, no, of course, I'm talking, of course, about, we're back from commercial segment 2.
Yes.
So that, of course, means we're going to, every time we have George on the show, we do have the daily question for George submitted by you, the listener. And, yeah. So Kissy is just, I don't know, I think she's just, to be honest, pissing around on Facebook. Anyway, we're going to sit here and wait until she decides to fire that off to me.
Yes.
So I can actually get along and, yeah. Anything? No? Hurry up.
And you're listening to HTLA Radio 1 New York.
There you go. I don't know. It was a button. I hit it. Some old toothless dude reading.
Yes.
Okay, well, she's still pissing around. So, George, I don't know. Tell us a story.
As I grew up, I made another discovery.
Right.
There were places called gay bars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny, too. You did Star Trek up to the... what was it, the 6th one?
I've done Star Trek,
right?
The series and the movie series up to the 6th one.
Oh, okay. So the 6th one, yeah, that was called Undiscovered Country, I believe. I guess that's a lot like being a homosexual, isn't it? Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, see, you discovered gay bars, and that's great. And Jesus Christ, Kissy, send me the damn question. Well, I don't know what she's doing, but I can't
Yes.
I can't wait anymore. So let me just think here. I'll think of a question. All right, George. How often? When geez, no, that's not a good one either. I don't know. Of course, you've had questions all over the place about various cleaning products used during gay sex, so I won't go there. Let's see. Okay, just because I can't think of anything else, here's a nice, simple, straightforward gay question. How often do you wake up with a cock in your ass?
Every morning.
Okay. There you go, gang. Don't say I didn't give you some love and joy. That's right. And
it's about fucking time. Move on.
Louis, how often do you wake up in the morning with a cock in your ass?
My film Unrepented did very well in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. All right, gang. Well, let's move it on today. Of course, the big Texas news, and I see that the ever-stealth Sharon Hundley Chesley is in the live chat room today saying, shh. Yes, one moment. The HTLA CEO, Kate Taylor, is in the studio with me right now showing me her new cheetah print shoes. Yes, there we go. And you all know my feelings on cheetah print in New Jersey. Yeah. Thank you. Those are great, Kate. Thank you.
Yes.
And I haven't been swearing on the show today at all. Yes. All right, well, moving on now. We get to that Texas story just for that very stealth-like B-1 bomber, Sharon Chesley. We'll get to that right now. Front lawn dinosaurs causing quite the stir in a Texas neighborhood. Yes, a Texas couple is putting the average homeowner's guardian lion statues to shame. Wait a minute, garden lions? What? I was putting those apparently popular lion statues in Texas, putting them to shame with a prehistoric twist on their lawn. Nancy Henschel and her husband found 2 metal sculptures of dinosaurs while on vacation in Arizona and decided to bring them home. Hoarders! This report comes to us, of course, from KTRK-TV. The T-Rex and Velociraptor sculptures sit near the couple's front walkway and appear to lunge at an unsuspecting victim.
Yes.
Obviously, it does make a little bit of a statement, Henschel told KTRK-TV, and I've met more neighbors in the past 24 hours than I have in the past 17 years living here. Well, while many appreciate the dinosaurs, some think the quirky lawn art should not be allowed in a planned community of new territory in Sugar Land, Texas, where the couple lives. You know, I always thought Sugar Land, Texas was where manly men come from, you know?
Yes.
You know, George, you know that, right? Yeah, this is where all the manly men are, Sugar Land, baby. But what the hell is this planned community thing? Now, a post on the community's Facebook page encouraged residents to, quote, take a drive down Kendall Creek in Lakewind and take a look at the Jurassic Yard before the Homeowners Association succeeds in having the homeowner remove them. Oh, really? Won't they get the shock of their lives?
Yes.
Won't they get the absolute, oh my God, what did we do? Let's run away quickly, when they realize that the dinosaurs have been put there by Monsanto. That's right. You ain't moving those dinos, chickie.
Yes.
Yes, the post added that decorations are, of course, in violation of the deed of restrictions, but they are kind of cool. Kudos to the resident for even thinking of this one, but we will have to fine you $2,500. Well, the community, as most of these bloody gated nightmares has, yes, a long list of guidelines that residents must abide by. According to ABC News, the new Territory Residential Community Association's Homeowners Handbook requires residents to obtain written consent prior to installation of, quote, yard decorations and furniture. Well, no, these aren't yard decorations. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Well, KTRK-TV reported that HOA is aware of the dinosaurs. Henschel told the station that she was contacted and asked what her plans are regarding the dinosaurs. She said she's going to contest any request for their removal. Get off my land. Yes, quote, it's creative and it's creating a real sense of community here, she told KTRK-TV. Yeah, well, it is.
Yes.
And shove it up your ass, residents. Really? Really, like this is like the whole, PC movement.
Yes.
You know? Oh, yes, let's take this to the highest court in the land because this is so damn important. Forget feeding the hungry. Yeah. Well, that was your Texas update. Oh, yeah. Yeah, stay tuned for more Texas updates in the coming days.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Nope. Moving along today, Baltimore mayor. Yes, the black lady is coming out on guns, gangs, and homicides. Everything she knows intimately. Yes. That's right, she is. This month, Baltimore reached a grim milestone. Of course, more murders were recorded in the Charm City and in the middle of August 2015 than in all of 2014, reversing years of hard-won gains in reducing the city's most violent crimes. In an interview with Capital Download, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake blamed gang rivalries and access to guns for the spike in homicides. Well, at least she acknowledges what it is. Yeah, a development that has hit not only her hometown, but also the big cities across the country. As president of the U.S. Conference on Mayors, she's convening a meeting of city leaders in October to discuss what's happening and how to respond. If you look at all the homicide victims, most all of them have had contact with the criminal system. Many have been recently released from jail. They're known to each other, she says. It's a domino thing that we're seeing. They're also all black and a few Chicanos. Now, she notes a time and connection to the death of Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old African-American man who died in police custody in April. 6 Baltimore police officers have been indicted on charges related to his death, which sparked riots and marked the start of an abrupt rise in violent crime. The incident has raised tension in the critical relationship between the Baltimore Police Department and the community, she says, making it harder to investigate most crimes. We can't do it alone without the information that helps us to take these violent individuals off the street, she says. We're not going to get where we want to be as a city unless we do the hard work of repairing that relationship. And to me, that's the critical work that is of the essence right now. The violence has been a test for as well for Rawlings Blake, 45, a rising star in Democratic politics. As Secretary of the Democratic National Committee, she is slated to introduce the 2016 frontrunner Hillary Clinton at the DNC meeting in Minneapolis this weekend. At age 25, she became the youngest person ever elected to the Baltimore City Council. Then was elected president of the council. She was sworn in as mayor when her predecessor, Sheila Dixon, resigned in 2010 after being convicted of embezzlement. Rawlings Blake, now 45, was elected to the full term in 2011. She is running for re-election next year, and Dixon is among those who plan to challenge her in the Democratic primary. The embezzler is going to try again? Really? Well, the mayor was interviewed for our weekly video newsmaker series at a conference room adjoining her office at City Hall in an ornate Baroque revival structure conducted in the center of town, constructed, I should say, in the center of town in 1875. In the aftermath of Freddie Gray's death, Rawlings Blake fired Police Commissioner Anthony Batts, set up a war room to deal with the city's increased violence, embedded 10 federal agents in the city's homicide department, and sought other federal aid from the Obama administration. But she heatedly defends her decision to delay for hours, calling in the National Guard, even as street protests turned into rioting and looting. The city had been braced for demonstrations by boisterous teenagers, she said, not a situation that required the National Guard. She says she was concerned about keeping the protests from escalating, perhaps leading to more violence. If the criticism is that I didn't have the National Guard out to put our babies at risk of being killed, I'll take that criticism, she says. I will be made vulnerable for it, but I just don't know of many people who think that it would have been appropriate use of force in that situation. After the police officers were indicted, arrests in the city plummeted She declines to speculate why, and she says that the evidence suggests a temporary decline in arrest wasn't behind the surge in murders. Many have suggested that the slowdown of arrest after indictment of the officers precipitated this violence. We haven't found that to be the case as yet, in the sense that we've seen an incredible increase in the number of arrests. Over 100% increase in the last 3 weeks in the amount of guns taken off the street, she says. We've taken more illegal guns off the street this year than last year. With all of that activity, we're still here with that surge in violence. The number of murders in Baltimore had dropped to 197 in 2011, the lowest since the late 70s. Last year, there was 211 murders, the second lowest since then. But so far this year, 215 homicides already have been reported. Violent crime has also risen in other big cities this year, from Houston to Milwaukee and nearby Washington, D.C. At a meeting she's called for mayors in Baltimore this fall, Rawlings Blake says that they will discuss the need for collaboration with federal government to respond. She says the mayors will also lay out very clearly what we expect as a national agenda for our cities from the 2016 presidential candidates in both parties. And I'm sure those 16 or 22 candidates will listen to her, but Trump's too damn busy. Sorry. Yeah. And speaking of candidates,
yes,
we actually have today, to close out the show, we actually have the latest in your Scooby-Doo news. Yep. That's right, we do. Clinton news. Not even kidding.
Yes.
Do we need the... That's right, we've got Clinton news. That's right, Clinton GOP candidates' views on women is akin to those of terrorists, she says. Hillary Clinton today compared Republican presidential candidates' views on women to those of terrorists in a campaign appearance today in Ohio. Now, extreme views about women? We expect that from terrorist groups. We expect that from people who don't want to live in the modern world, Clinton said in Cleveland. But it's a little hard to take home coming from Republicans who want to be president of the United States. Yet, they espouse out-of-date and out-of-touch policies, she said. They're dead wrong for 21st century America. Like you'd know. Well, she said, Jeb Bush opposes Planned Parenthood, which provides reproductive health services to women and has been a target of an outside group that produced undercover videos about its abortion services. She also took aim at Ohio Governor John Kasich and Florida Senator Mark Rubio, who brags about wanting to deny victims of rape and incest access to health care and abortion. The comments drew swift rebuke from Republicans. For Hillary Clinton to equate her, political opponents as terrorists, it's a new low for her failing campaign, says Allison Moore, the Republican National Committee press secretary, saying in a statement today. She should apologize immediately for her inflammatory rhetoric, bitch. Well, Bush slammed Clinton twice on Twitter, saying that she compares pro-life Americans to terrorists while defending Planned Parenthood policies. Her priorities are totally wrong. And she doesn't know what top secret is. Well, Clinton is apparently making women's issues the pillar of her campaign because she doesn't really know much else. Of course, that includes focusing on gender inequality issues like equal pay and access to health care, with polls showing her support among men weaker than among women, where she only holds 1.2%. Well, she will need a strong showing from both single and married women to become the nation's first female president. Yeah, this is just a pipe dream. Can we stop talking about it now? No, I'm serious, Gilbert, because,
yes.
There's a lady that lives down the street from me here.
Yes.
I don't know, 3 or 4 miles. She's known in the community as Aunt Millie.
Yes.
Okay. Now Aunt Millie's a sweet old woman.
Yes.
And she actually, does things like actually bakes apple pies, lets them cool in the window.
Yes.
And she actually takes them down. She got a little stand by the road, and she actually, serves you up pieces of pie and stuff. She doesn't even charge you for this.
Yes.
No. All right, and Aunt Millie, super sweet lady, everything else, she's not the smartest tool in the shed. You know, she's just a nice, personable lady who bakes pies for the community kids and whatnot. And you know what? I'll tell you this. I would much sooner. You know, this isn't an issue about putting a woman in the White House.
Yes.
This is about not putting Hillary in the White House. No, it just is. Because I'll tell you this. I can guarantee you.
Yes.
I can guarantee you that, geez, just put up a couple of posters around New York City here, around Manhattan. Aunt Millie would get more votes than this idiot. Yeah. She just would. I mean, it's
yes.
Free pie. Come on. God, you know, now that I think about it, you know, we put a couple of dollars into Aunt Millie's campaign. She could beat Trump.
Yes.
You know, he's got to do pie or something. You know, actually, I think with his net worth, I say he should buy our votes. $20,000 a piece. Come on. There you go. Well, that is the Boom Boom music for today. We are out of time. I want to thank the one, the only Louis Lawless for being here today.
I nearly got kicked out of a theater. I can't remember what I saw about 2 weeks ago because I was booing and screaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Right. Gilbert Seinfeld.
Hey, can I see your dick?
There you go. All right.
It's about fucking time. Move on. Move on.
All right, Louis, you have yourselves a good day. Gilbert, thanks for being here.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
Also, George Takei, thank you for being here, friend.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yep.
It has been a fantastic experience.
Yeah, like the first time I rode you. Yeah. There you go. Well, I also want to do some shout-outs, thank yous. Helen Doyle, thank you for listening today. Sharon Chesley, of course, the one, the only Phil DeYoung, the intern listener, all the rest of you out there in listener land. Thanks for listening today. I hope you have a great Thursday night. And we'll catch you here tomorrow for the big weekender. Yes, the Friday Frappuccino coming at you 5 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget tonight, if you're into astrology at all, I know I'm not, but if you are, don't forget to check out Starstruck tonight at 9, HTLA Radio 1, where Kate will give you the stars with her cheetah print shoes. Yeah. So, from all of us here at HTLA Studio 2, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.